I'm back! Onyx Storm spoilers and theories, and really this is Fourth Wing or the Greater Empyrean series spoilers. I actually posted about this one before, but I didn't do a reel, so I'm going to now create a theory reel for those of you who need the audio format as you do other things, instead of reading a big carousel and lots of words, because I can be wordy and get lost in the details. But for this theory, we're going to be talking about potential book title names for books 4 and 5, whenever those might come out, because I will be well into my 40s by the time this series is over. But let's begin. Consider yourself warned. My best guess is that the title of book 4 will be called Silver Claw, if the cover design follows the same color gradient scheme that we have been seeing everywhere on social media, with everyone putting, this book at the top with Iron Flame underneath, and it goes into a color gradient into the black. Then the next book is obviously going to be silver if it follows that same scheme. So where does the claw come in? Let me explain. For one, we're given hints on the cover, I believe, of Onyx Storm. In this lower right-hand corner, you see scratches. And some people think that their book arrived damaged and stuff. And then it was funny because I was comparing with a friend and we had the same exact scratches. So those are by design. So I think that's a little hint about the claws. But also in the Fourth Wing Holiday Edition that came out, the end papers were giant claw marks. But two, the claw would follow the same naming mechanics that the first two books followed. So with the Rider Quadrant at Bezgayath War College, we have wing, flame, and claw. Claw would just tie into that really nicely. But then there is the more compelling reason that I'm most excited to talk about, and it has to do with the map. So let's take a look. In my bear theory reels, I explain Liam and Darna, the bear, which is the shape of the map. If you look at the map, that's here. The outline of the continent is in the shape of a bear. And I also talk about the undisclosed location of the Isles. In a nutshell, the bear holds a special meaning in Empyrean, but that meaning has not been divulged as of yet. Of interesting note is if you look at the map, south of the continent, you'll see Arctile Ocean. In ancient Greek, Arctis means bear. So it's not a coincidence. Rebecca Yarros is scheming here. But another thing that I pointed out was on the Isles, if you look at the map where the bear's front claws would be, that is where Quest Squad visited all of the different isles and eventually met the Irids. And we were actually given proof confirming this from Garrick in Onyx Storm in chapter 43. He says, technically on the map, if you were to fly northeast for 2 days, you'd hit the cliffs of Drailer. It fits. It fits. But even during Zanal's gift ceremony, Rebecca Yarros was planting numerous pieces of information that elicited the bear imagery in your mind. Here is a quote. Drake draws next. The claw, Calixta announces, holding the painted symbol high, and the crowd cheers when the men translate. My heart jumps into my throat as a bear of a man marches forward from the right, huge fists swinging by his sides. Drake doesn't flinch. I ready myself for the punch that's inevitably coming and wonder if the man's nails have been filed into sharp points. She was giving us so many hints about the location of the Isles and the importance of the claws and the bear here. Ultimately, Violet made the decision for Quest Squad to not visit the last isle, Loisum, to see the goddess Loyal. It is safe to assume in Book 4, which could be titled Silver Claw, that they will have to travel back to the claw of the bear continent to go back and visit that temple in her quest to save Xaden's soul. I could totally see that happening. So what about a title for the fifth and final book? Well, this one is more of a stretch for me. My best guess would be maybe Violet Heart. In Iron Flame chapter 35, Bear says, do you know what my signet is, Cadet Sorengale? I don't see people. I see their weaknesses. Your weaknesses are the people you love. Violet has always walked around thinking that her body and physical limitations were her weaknesses, but we see time and time again that her greatest weakness and source of strength, frankly, is her capacity to love and help those she loves. That is her true weakness and strength. It makes sense given the emphasis placed on Violet's connections to Dune, which also, Dune is the god of strength, not just war, and loyal, which is love. So that fits with Violet so perfectly. In Onyx Storm chapter 24, Quest Squad visited Devrelli, and Neril says to Violet and Xaden, what you call the divine intervention of love, we call alchemy. Two substances combined to make something entirely new, not unlike what's between the two of you. For extra context, you can see my Violet theory reels where I talk about how not just Andarna is the one combined, but Violet is also one combined. And I think this is going to fit in with the cure for saving Xaden or the Venonism, really. But this talk of alchemy is fascinating when applied to the Isle of Hedotus, where we meet Xaden's mom, Talia, and her husband, Ferris. Ferris's eyes are the result of alchemy. From chapter 33, it says, his eyes are so blue, they're actually purple. What makes purple? Red, and blue. In red, I'm just associating with venin here. It talks about a lot how these people that live in Hedotus, blue eyes turn purple for some reason. But the strange thing is, Violet's eyes are very light colored and the coloring is really unique as well, just like her father's eyes were. The interesting thing to note is Papa Sorengale's eyes never changed, and he spent months and months doing research on Hedotus. He ingested the villadrite mineral and his eyes never changed. It's just a very strange thing. Furthermore, the Irids told Violet and Andarna there is no cure for venin. They can only change or evolve. It just kind of makes you wonder if maybe everybody is venin, and that's why everybody, whether they have a dragon or a griffin that they're bonded to or not, is able to channel and go all the way bad or dark side. So lastly, I want to conclude this little book 4 and book 5 title theory by saying military families, their stories, sacrifices, those are important to Rebecca Yarros. She's in a military family herself. Empyrean is absolutely a love letter to that experience. So something that I found really peculiar was the special meaning behind the Purple Heart medal that is given to families of those who die in service to their country, giving the ultimate sacrifice, their life. I just thought that Violet Heart would be such a poignant way of ending the series, tying into that whole Purple Heart, military sacrifice, love type of thing. Now, I understand some people aren't a big fan of Purple Heart because it just doesn't sound as punchy, I guess, as the other previous books. So I'll just go ahead and throw out there another title possibility that I was thinking about in my head was Ultraviolet, because I could totally see the 5th book being like the whole color spectrum, not really a rainbow, but like this holographic kind of ultraviolet light type of effect. Just because of the importance of color in this and balance and alchemy, I could totally see that fitting as well. So Ultraviolet or Violet Heart. So those are my theories for what books 4 and 5 could potentially be called, Silverclaw and Violet Heart or Ultraviolet. I want to know what you think of this. And if you have not checked out my other theory reels, definitely go check them out. I go into way too much depth probably, but let me know what you think. Okay, bye.